guys, welcome to the Wivesroundtable show. Welcome to the show for the Nigerian woman. This is the show that has every woman in mind. This is the show that brings women valuable information to help them lead wholesome lives wherever they are, whatever it is they are doing. We always go way out to ensure that we bring people who have the knowledge, the experiences, and all other resources that can help a woman somewhere and her family lead a wholesome life. That's what we're about at Wives Roundtable, for women to live to the fullest of their potential. My name is Amaka Chibuzo-Obi, and I'm your host on this program. Tonight, we're going to be discussing something that I know a lot of people shy away from. This is one topic that is a reality in a lot of homes, but people just choose not to talk about it because they feel as if they talk about it, they're going to be ruffling a lot of feathers. It's not just, it's not proper for us to talk about it and all of that, but it's causing lots of problems in different homes. What am I talking about? I'm talking about when the woman provides. Now, this has become the reality in a lot of homes. But the thing is that it's not so much about the woman providing as it is the circumstances that surround this phenomenon. And that's what we're going to be looking at tonight on the show. There's so many people who say once a woman begins to provide in the home, she turns to a tiger and she just ensures that she subjugates the man and all of that. Is that true? Is that really how it is? What are these circumstances that could change the dynamics of a home and cause the woman to be the provider? These and so many other things we're going to be discussing tonight on the show. So do not even dream of moving a muscle. Don't go anywhere, because Wives Roundtable will return immediately after this quick break. But before I go, I want to remind you that you can join our community on social media. Please go search for us at Wives Roundtable on both Instagram and Facebook and join our community. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is the Wives Roundtable show, and if you're just joining us, you're right on time for this explosive episode of the show. My name is Amaka Chibuzo-Obi. Tonight on the Wives Roundtable show, we'll be discussing when the woman provides. And to discuss this with me, join me as I welcome my friend and sister, Chidema. Babe, welcome to Wives Roundtable.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so at the introduction, I said something. I said that some people say that when a woman provides or when the dynamics shift and the woman becomes the breadwinner in the home, that man is in deep trouble because that woman will ensure that she shows him pepper, that the man will be so subjugated and be so disrespected and all of those kinds of things. So it's now sort of like it's something that people see as an abnormal thing, that it's not supposed to happen, because if it happens, then that man is no longer a man. Now, first of all, is it true that when a woman provides in the home that it leads to subjugation of the man?
Okay, first off, thank you for having me here today. And it is not true that when a woman becomes the provider in the home, that the man is no longer a man or that the man is subjugated. It's a mind thing. It is not true at all. If the man understands, or if both of them understand, then I don't think it's a problem.
It's a problem, right?
It is not a problem at all.
Now, what are some of the things that could cause this to happen? Because we're Africans, and here in this part of the world, it's an unwritten rule, sometimes very written, that is the man that should provide in the home, right?
Okay.
So what are some of the things that could change this thing that could be the dynamics that how we know a family should be, which is the man should be the main provider in the home? What are some of the things that could bring about, turning it to the woman being the provider?
Okay, so first off, I would like to say that loss of job. So a man could lose his job. Could also be as a result of ill health.
Absolutely.
Okay, a man who was otherwise healthy could become really sick with some sort of debilitating disease, and he can't. Maybe he may not be able to work anymore. Again, could be that in some cases, the man might choose to become, quote and unquote, a house husband, especially if the woman is really in a very good job or business, and they weigh it and they see that the woman going out to make the money could, make the family better.
Family
yes,
more.
And so the man decides to take a step back and take care of the family. Okay, so like I said, it's all a matter of understanding. So these are some of the things that could cause or that could shift the dynamics of. But I know that the chief of it is usually, especially down here in Africa, could be or Nigeria, could be loss of job, or maybe the business that the man was doing, fails and it's not moving as it used to be before. We all know what happened during COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs, So a lot of those things could happen and change the dynamics. And then the woman becomes the sole provider.
Now, why do you think people say that once a woman starts providing that the man is in soup? Why do people even say this?
I'm going to be blunt and say that I'm not going to say all men. Majority of the men, 70%, I wouldn't say 80, even though I'm tempted to say 80. I also want to say 90, but I'm going to say 70 because I know that it's because the men most of the time do not treat the women well when they are the providers. So at the back of their head, they begin to think, oh, she's going to treat me the way I treat her when I had money. That's it. That's it. It's like I said, it's in the mind. Because the man didn't or wasn't treating her well when he was the provider, will think that when she becomes the provider, she's going to deal me the same hand I dealt her.
It's something of, okay, I didn't treat her well, therefore this may now be her time.
Yes, so
to
exactly
revenge or something. So what do you see as the problems that this cause in the home?
Okay, so first off, it makes the whole arrangement go south or go bad even before it starts. The man.
What do you mean? Like, explain. Because I can see that you're trying to paint it, and
See, okay, so what happens is that the man will begin to get ideas and begin to assume things that are not even there in the first place. And so everything that the woman does out of goodwill will be misinterpreted most of the time.
Okay.
So, it just doesn't. So even you, the woman, if you're the one providing, you in your whole mind, you're like, you know what? God, please bless this man and let him just provide.
So he can leave me alone.
So that he can leave you alone.
So it's this thing of, the man now beginning to make so many assumptions that may not actually be true.
That most of the time is not even true. Because, especially when children are involved, the woman is mostly concerned about the welfare of the children. So she will actually go out of her way to make sure that, quote and unquote, may I use that word, people don't see that things look like they are falling apart. You want to, as much as possible, hold the sheep
center.
Hold the sheep together. Do you understand? And just so that, again, you also do not want the children to feel like things are falling apart. So you're doing everything you can to make sure that you maintain the type of standard that those children are used to. And then the man, on the other hand, might begin to think that, oh, so she earns money now, so she can show us that. All of those things stems from the mind of the man and his ego. And so he begins to misinterpret things that shouldn't even be misinterpreted in the first place. And before you know it, the center will not hold.
Yeah. You would hear some men in this situation say things like, it's because you bought this thing. When I used to buy it all those times, nobody heard anything. And the woman is like, but I didn't say anything. I just bought this thing. I mean, so yes, I hear you very well when you say that there are lots of assumptions that begin to come up that have no basis, because the man just feels like, okay, now that she's providing, she may begin to look down on me.
Yeah.
Even without any evidence to this fact,
Yes.
right? He just assumes that that's how it will be.
Mm-hmm.
You say, oh, we need to buy this. The air is now that because you're making money, that's how you're now seeing everything that we need to buy.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, but we used to buy this thing even before I started making money. So that's that hit to his ego could
Yes.
now become a problem, and he sees issues where there are none.
True.
Yeah. So let's go for a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about what the woman in this situation can do to ensure that all these different things that we've touched on, these assumptions, I wasn't treating you well before, now I believe that you're going to do me back, all of those things, that all of these things don't come to rock the family. Are there things she can begin to do, with short of just saying, okay, I'm not providing again, let all of us just stay, short of doing that, are there other things that she could do to manage the situation such that, it doesn't just scatter the entire home? Okay. We'll discuss all of this right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Wow, I know that this is such a controversial topic we're talking about right here. And I also know that, for us to adequately and effectively discuss this particular topic, we probably need to have a guy here to tell us something from a man's point of view. But for now, with the woman I have in the studio with me, we're having this conversation from the point of view of a woman. Now, there is this thing that I, as a woman, will call a misconception, which is that so many people have, which is the fact that a lot of people think that women do not like to spend their money. In fact, we make it even a joke on social media. They will tell you a man has 100,000, his wife has 200,000. How much does the entire family have? And people will say 100,000 because the woman's own never comes out. So we say statements like this and we laugh about it. But I feel like, for me personally, I feel like this is a misconception a lot of people have when it comes to women, that women do not like to spend their money. But before we went on the break, Chidima said something, that a lot of women who find themselves in the position of being the breadwinner, for providing, at a certain time, usually do it in such a way as to, carry the entire family along, to take care of the children so that the standard in the home doesn't drop, so that the children don't know what's going on. I know, and I'm going to say this as a caveat, I know that it's not all women that are that, reasonable and responsible as to do it and cover it. But I also know that there are so many women out there who do it and cover it and yet do not get the sort of appreciation that they ought to get from their partners. So that's what we're talking about here. Now, Chidima, let's talk about such women who do these things wholeheartedly without asking for anything in return. Women who know that it's partnership, and whosoever has at any point in time should bring forth. That's women who know that, yes, it hasn't always been like this, but because of certain things that happened, it is now like this. So it's my turn to do what I can for my family. And she's doing it. Yet she is, not receiving the kind of appreciation that she thinks she deserves. First of all, before we go into what she can do, let's even talk about what kind of appreciation is she looking for. Because some people will say, appreciation, you people want us to prostrate in front of you. You people want us to be licking your leg every day because you're paying school fees and you're doing this and that. Is that what women are asking for?
No. I don't think that any woman who is supporting her husband or her partner, during this time would want the man to come and prostrate in front of her. But again, would she want, we're all human beings. Would she want to be appreciated for what she's doing and not, get an attitude? Definitely. As little as thank you. Oh, babe, I can see what you're doing. Same way you do to the man when he's providing and you go tell him, oh, I can see what you're doing for the children and all that and all that. Because it's the woman does not also mean that now it's not supposed to be like an everyday thing. Maybe you go out and buy something, man comes to tell you, oh, thank you. And then you do this and that. No, but once in a while, I think it is necessary. It is it's actually important for the man to say, hi, babe, I do appreciate you stepping up this period and what you're doing for the family. It's important that he does that. He does something for the woman. He tells the woman, see, this man sees what I'm doing, appreciates what I'm doing, okay? And you know how women are. You know how we are. And she can go all out to do whatever it is that she feels needs to be done.
Absolutely.
In the home to keep it going. Okay, so it's not like it's frustration or something as little as a text. Thank you so much for, it's not an everyday thing like I've just said. Once in a while, let her know that you see her efforts, you see the things that she's doing. Because most times, remember that these women are doing this in addition to other things. And that's, I don't know if you talk about that, but that's again another thing. So she's doing that. She's being the provider. She's the homemaker. She's a cook. She's a cleaner. She's all of that. Especially, if it's a man that is not domestic. And she's doing all of that. And it's important that you appreciate her for what she's doing. And don't bring the attitude. Because
I hear you when you say this, because there's some people, I've had a couple who, the man never said thank you. He never. And then one day it got so bad in the home that they had to go for counseling. And it was during counseling that the man told the counselor that, I know my wife has been trying. I know my wife tries. She actually really, really tries. And the woman just broke down, started crying. She was like, so all this time, like you said, I've been doing every single thing in the house. I parent these children, I cook, I clean, I do everything, and I still bring in funds into this house. And you have never, ever said thank you. So you actually see these things that I do. So I hear you when you say, that appreciation is needed, especially because, let's just be sincere. That's not how we as Africans were wired. As Africans, we are wired that is the man that provides.
Yes, definitely.
So when those dynamics shift, I feel like we also should find a way to adjust. I tell people, men or women, if your partner is trying in the home, appreciate them. Mm-hmm. Whether it is the man, some people will say, oh, my husband will pay his school fees, the school fees now. Is it not his job? I say no. As long as your partner is doing it and doing it wholeheartedly, appreciate them. True. Oh, baby, you paid the school fees. Thank you very much. Just say it. Don't take anybody for granted. True. Because you feel like, oh, it's their job. They should do it. It's not all of us that have the children. Mm-hmm. It just makes the woman feel like she's not being appreciated.
Or not seen.
Not being seen. And that could now make her start bringing up those attitudes that people now say, the woman, once she provides, you're in soup, she will sting you like scorpion. So now let's talk about what the woman can do. What can she begin to do?
Okay, so especially when she's not being appreciated, okay, I always say keep the children in focus, especially if children are involved, and do whatever you can do to ensure that
they don't get in the middle of
it. Keep the children in focus and do what you can do. Okay? I also tell women, when you are in this situation, to not lose yourself, because it can also get to a point where you're providing so much that you forget yourself. Okay? So don't lose yourself in it.
Process.
Okay, and talk to yourself, have that inner conversation with yourself and tell yourself, do you know what, whether anybody sees me or not, I know I'm doing good. I know I'm doing a fantastic job. I know I'm doing amazing. Talk to yourself. Because again, you can't also wait for someone to prop you up or validate everything that you're doing and all that. Just like you said in that, they know what you are doing, whether they say it or not. They know. So in this case, I always say, when children are involved, keep the children in focus. Do it for them, do it for God. That's the only way to do it. Do it for the children, do it for God, and know when to say no. And know what to say no to.
Don't lose yourself in that process.
Don't lose yourself in that process. Know what to say no to. know what to say yes to, and be wise in your spending.
Absolutely, very important.
Very
and I'm going
wise.
to add that it's very important also to find support. When I say support, find someone that you can talk to, who you can just lean on. I know some of the women in this situation, at least in my work as a counselor and as a coach, some of the women just tell me, I can't even talk to my husband. Like, I can't talk to him. And I say, it's fine. You just find somebody that you can talk to, maybe a friend, maybe a coach, maybe a counselor, somebody that can hold your hand. Those times that you feel like your back is breaking, you can go to the person and say, oh, I don't think I can carry on. And that person can tell you, no, you can carry on. I believe in you. I know what you can do. It helps to have support. Don't try to do it all alone. Don't try to carry the weight alone, because what happens is you become resentful. And when you become resentful, you just become irritable. You become nasty. You become that thing that the man already says you are, even when you're not. So find support, find an outlet, somebody that you can talk to, someone who loves and believes in you enough that whenever you pick up the phone to call, the person is there to listen to you, so you can let some of those emotions out and you don't get eaten up from inside. Because the truth is, in this our economy especially, it's hard. We're not even going to butter it up. It's hard being a sole provider, even for the man. Talk more for when it's the woman, who in addition to providing may be doing other things as well. So babe, just take it easy. Like Chidima has said, keep the children in focus. Do it for yourself. Do it for God. Do it for your children. But most importantly, find support. Find somebody to talk to. And if your husband is willing, maybe both of you will see a counselor or something so that you can open up and explain exactly where it hurts. And both of you can see how to work together to make things work. I do not believe that women do not like to provide. I believe that it all depends on the partner, the understanding, and how they choose to make it work. We'll be right back with something else right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We're now on to something else, our Anything Can Happen segment of the Wives Roundtable show. And in this segment, I'm going to be asking my beautiful guests a riddle. Yes. And the riddle goes like this. Okay. What is something that can't be held, isn't physical, but can be broken?
Trust.
Yes. That was so fast. Okay, so we have trust, we have a promise as well.
And trust.
Wow, you're super smart.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's absolutely cool. I actually had promise in mind. I didn't think of trust. But thinking about it now, yes, trust is also an answer. Wow, that's so cool. Well done.
Thank you.
Your kids will be so proud. My mommy is smart.
Yes, I am.
So thank you. Thank you so very much, Chidima. Thank you so much for coming through for us on the Wives Roundtable show. We will be here same time, same station next week. So please make it a date with us. You know that you can find Wives Roundtable online, right? Yes, we are on social media, Instagram as well as Facebook. We are at Wives Roundtable. My name is Amaka Chibuzo-Obi, and you can also find me on social media as well at Amaka Chibuzo-Obi. Until I come your way next week, love everyone around you, but most importantly, love yourself, because you can't give what you don't have. Have a very good evening.